Hello everybody, going to be revising my last project I did, which was a sound log. So let's get into it. So obviously last time I was doing this, I obviously started my version 1 or my prototype, which was that one, which then evolved into this one. Obviously these work, obviously these are both only 3 locks, and also I want to do a 4th one. I'll be able to add on to this a bit more, so I may design a modular version or design. Obviously these 2 versions are great, but modular device, these get a little bit weird considering they bounce around a little bit. And the other thing is, as I also discovered this one, is as I use the 15th power signal to lock the kaleidoscope sensors, or have them essentially be off. Also, if you then do like something the sound of cell 15, which is killing a mob or blowing something up, it triggers it, which means you could then do the next one. I think. Obviously, in this version, I had the last one check. Obviously, the second one isn't checked, so you could technically just need to do the last 2. It's a bit of an issue. Obviously, majority of people probably already know how to bypass this, unless they actually seen the redstone. And in comes version 3. This is one of the modules separated right here. I should probably use the ink block other than lime concrete. And this is for them in a row. As you can see, got the first module here. Then it essentially inverts on itself. So it's flipped around. And then it flips back to the normal version. And then it flips around again. So this is 4 locks. Each of them have a built-in, make sure that there wasn't an explosion going off. They all are locked. And sorry, these are not waterlogged. But there's a slight issue I've found with structure blocks. When you copy and paste these, they bug out a little bit. So I have to replace them. But yeah, so see I recreated a lock here. See here, actually I've got some lamps put in. That's just a visual indicator of which one you're at. First one's eat, second one's open the door, third one's do a trumpet or interact, and shut a door. Which means I'll get through. Obviously, I should probably add a bit of a pulse extension to this, considering not the biggest of intervals, but hey, it works. But yeah, and obviously, this is with the latest snapshot, which increased the range of scope sensors from 8 to 16, which helps a lot, which means don't have to be as close to the door. Which is handy. And obviously, as you can see, they're waterlogged. Couldn't do this before. Before, if you tried waterlogging them, it meant you couldn't actually get redstone in. For example, right now on the snapshot, what was it? Snapshot 23W12A was introduced these, but you couldn't actually get any other sort of signal through. So you start with, you had to have a redstone dust go into the kaleidoscope sensor with the power you want it. Now you can do it through a block, so I don't need a redstone dust, which means I can waterlog it from this side. I think we could get power out before, I forget, but pretty much we couldn't input the redstone signal through something which wouldn't break to it being waterlogged. If I put water there now, it'll break the redstone dust. Yeah, the advantage of it being waterlogged is you don't hear it. You'll see the sound being transmitted though, but you don't hear it. I could have this under the ground, have the door there, for example, and yeah. This will all be very hidden, and unless they're looking down, they won't see the particle effects. Anyway, let's get into how to build it. Just a quick note before we start, let's just make sure that when you want this to be on, make sure there's power going in. If you don't want to be redstone constantly going in, just break the torch at the first one, and then it will always be active. And second, obviously, you can change whatever signal you want to go in. So you can use anything from the 1 to 14. But don't use 15 because 15 is used to lock the scope sensors. So choose 15, it will not let any signal through because it's designed to cancel that signal out. But in this section, so we're going to start with 2 blocks. Repeaters, and obviously this will be your redstone input. For now, it's a actual input. And this is modular, so everything from this forward, this direction, just repeat again, but also you have to invert it from the last segment. Repeater go into there, the redstone torch, up into a block, and get this block. I'm gonna go back down, place 2 more blocks there. Got about a sensor with its input facing towards that block up here. And the other one can be facing this direction, so ahead. Okay, we're gonna place a Capacitor scope sensor facing into that block. And we'll place another one next to it, facing ahead, which is going to be looking into a redstone block. Then around, if there's any air blocks around the scope sensors, we're going to fill that with the glass, just on the sides. And then we can waterlog them, and the water won't flow out. Next up, we're going to put two more blocks here. A comparator and a lectern. Obviously, you're going to need to put a book on here, which has 15 pages. And then that's how you select which input you want to go on to. So 1 to 14. And obviously, then you'll customize that for each segment. So I'm going to come back down to here. Put resin dust there. Put our repeater. And a repeater going there. Bring a block on the lectern. Put a repeater. Set it to 3. And then also you're going to set a block between these two repeaters over there. Okay, once we've done this, well, that's pretty much it. If we were to repeat this, we'd be doing the opposite, these in the opposite direction. So, I guess tomorrow continues. So we're building off that. Instead of the repeater going to the left, it's going to go to the right. So we're going into the block. And obviously we have a redstone torch on that. It goes up into the block. Then have two more blocks to the side. Skeletons are facing into it, and the other one facing head again. Place redstone block to start with. Put redstone dust there, repeater there, repeater there. Block here. One of this repeater on the 3. Go and place a block there. On this block, we can put a comparator. Then on top of that, repeater with 3 ticks. Place a lectern, and obviously put the book in. Obviously, I'm in creative and have got the book in there with the MBT there on the lectern, so I don't have to keep putting it in every time. You'll have 2 inventory slots used on the hotbar. And yeah, and that's where your signal will come out again. So this is 2 bits here, and you can copy this and just put it smack down over here and keep going. This is stackable, so you can go on, not forever, because obviously you eventually get to a point where you'll be out of the scope sensor's range from one end to the other. So unless you have it so you have to move, you could make a very big combination lock. Obviously the range of these is 16, so you can probably get up to, do 4 segments that I have here, have it come back, go up, back up, and go back up, probably 8 times, which would be, wow. Is it worth it to lock your door, your base door? At that point, probably not, because you probably won't remember it yourself. But this symbol 4, it's like a 4-digit code. I doubt anyone's going to get past that, considering 4 digits. 4 digits code would be, you got the potential of 38,416 combinations. So yeah, obviously certain sounds you need might be a little harder, and I think potentially you might need a bit more time for some sort of block breaking. So unless you have a block that breaks instantly, you might need a bit more time. So scaffolding's pretty good one used for that. You don't know a block that'll break quickly, things like that. I think scaffolding counts as block breaking, it should. But yeah, certain ones might need a little bit more time. In that cases, you have to add a little extra gap with an extra repeater. But yeah, that's the new and improved sound lock, version 3. Though version 1 is still technically the prototype. I don't know why I counted out version 1. It is just the prototype. 1, 2, boom. Okay, so yeah, the further you are from the scope sensors, there's some more delay to it, but you can learn the delay. So it's like roughly a second have to wait between each code. That's everything for today. So until next time, see ya.